Do you know what is pass by object reference in Python? If not, then in this video you will learn what is pass by object reference in Python, and you will also know what is pass by value, pass by reference, and its practical example. Let's get started with pass by value. Let us try to understand what is pass by value through a piece of code. So here is a function call, and this is a function definition. And this program is just to print the value of x. The execution will start from here. X is assigned a value 5, and that time the memory address is assigned to variable x. Value 5 is stored at this memory location. Then x is passed as argument to this function. So when it calls this function, a copy of this x is passed over here, and a new memory location is assigned to variable x, and 5 is copied to that particular memory location. And here it is printing the value, and then we are assigning a value 10 to variable x. It will override this value, and new value of this memory address or variable x is 10. But this modification is not reflected outside this function, means it is not reflected over here. Here the value of x is equal to 5. So that is what the meaning of pass by value means. A copy of variable is passed to a function, and any modification to the value inside this function will not be reflected outside the function over here. Now let us look at pass by reference. Here is the same piece of code, but here I am explaining what is the meaning of pass by reference. Here when 5 is assigned to x, a memory address is assigned to x, 5 is stored. Now here when we call a function with variable x, here address or a reference of x is passed over here. Means these x and these x both are referring to same, because here address is passed and new copy of this x is not created, means both are referring to the same memory address. When we assign 10 to variable x, it will override this 5 and new value is 10, but here x will have the same memory address, means whatever change made over here will also be reflected outside the function also. So the meaning of pass by reference is whenever we pass a variable, reference is passed, and whatever change we make is also reflected outside the function, because both the variables are referring to the same memory location. Now let us look at what is the meaning of pass by object reference. So neither of the above two concepts is applicable in Python. This pass by reference or pass by value are not applicable in Python, because we know that variables of all data types like numbers, string, list, tuple, set, dictionary, bool, complex are objects, and hence in Python all the type of parameters or arguments are passed by object reference, means address of object is passed from the function call to the function definition. So let us try to understand what is passed by object reference through this figure. So here we have same piece of code, but the process of execution will differ. So here when we create a new variable x and assign value 5, that time a new memory location is assigned to x, similar to the previous case. When we call this function with variable x, now the reference to the object, because x is an object, hence reference to this x is passed to this function. Reference means the address itself. So here this x and this x both are referring to the same object or same memory location. It is similar to the pass by reference, but here pass by object reference means the reference of object is passed, because everything in Python, every variable in Python is considered as an object, hence it is referred to as a pass by object reference. But important thing is, if we assign a new value to x, then it will assign a new memory address to variable x, and it will store a value. Means this x and this x are different now. So whatever change made over here will not be reflected over here, because integer variables are immutable, and hence whenever we assign a new value, a new variable is created and new address is assigned to that object, and hence whatever change when we assign a new value is not reflected over here. Now let us look at some practical examples of pass by object reference, and we can get id or address of a variable using id function like this. We assign 10 to variable x, then we print its address like this. So we can see that address of the variable x is over here. Now let us look at this example to understand pass by object reference in details. And here we have a simple function to print the value of x, and here is a function definition, and this is a piece of code with few print statement and a function call. Let me explain how the pass by object reference works. This program execution starts from here. X is assigned a value 5 and a memory address is assigned to x, and here we are printing value of x and its address, and then we are calling the function. So here x is passed by object reference to this particular function, address is passed, and when we print this, and when this print statement is executed, it will print the same value, that is 5, and the same address that we are printing over here. So how can we verify that x is passed by object reference? So it's very simple. If address which is printed within the function and outside the function over here is same, then we can say that the variable x or object x is passed by object reference. So after executing this particular statement, it will come back over here and it will execute statement after this function call, and here also it should print the same variable value 5 and same address. Now let us run it and let us verify whether we are getting the same address and content or not. We can see that all the three print statements are printing the same value and same address, and this proves that the object x or a variable x is passed by object reference. Now let us look at its little modification. Here in this print function we have only one line, but we have modified that particular print function by adding two line of code, that is x is assigned value 10, and then we are printing value of x and its address. Otherwise this code is same as the previous example. Now let me explain this code. So here x is assigned to 5, then we are printing, it will print the value of x and address of x, and then it will call the function. So here x is passed by reference to this, and here again we'll print the value of x and address of x. So the address and value printed by this statement and this statement will be same. As the x is an integer and integer data type is immutable, means we cannot change the value of variable x like this. So whenever we assign a new value to a variable, it will assign a new memory address and will 10 is stored at different location like this. When x is assigned value 10, it will create a new memory location and 10 is stored at that particular location. So the value printed over here and here will be different. Here value 5 will be printed, here 10, and here address printed by this statement and this statement will be different. Now let us run this piece of code and let us verify the output, and here we can see that these two statements have the same value and same address, means this before the print function call and within function definition we have same, because this x is passed by object reference. But when we assign a new value to x, a new address is assigned to x, as the integer data type variables are immutable, hence a new address is assigned, and hence over here we can see that within function definition value 10 has memory address different than the previous two. While passing variables to a function, right, we should take care that we are not unnecessary overwriting that variable, because otherwise it will reassign the memory address to that variable. But the important thing is it is passed by object reference, because the address of variable x over here and within the function is same, hence we can say that variable x or object x is passed by object reference. Now let us look at how list is passed by object reference. So here is a simple program to create a list and add one element to the list. So now let me explain how list is passed by object reference. So first of all, this statement is executed, list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. List like this is created and memory address is assigned. So this statement will print the list as well as the address of the list. Here is a function call. So this list1 is a passed by object reference to this particular function definition over here. So list1 and list2. Here we have kept different variables just to understand that how list is passed by object reference in a better way. So here list1 from function call and list2 over here are referring to the same memory location. So here for example memory location 320030 means both list1 and list2 are referring to the same memory location and same list. If we add value 5 to this list using append function, then 5 is added at the end of the list and both are referring to the same, means whatever modification done within this function is also reflected outside the function also. After adding value 5, we are printing the list2 and its address, and then after completing the execution of this, it will jump to this again, it will execute the statement, then it will execute the statement after this function call, and here we are printing list1 and its address. Here how can we verify that the list is passed by object reference? If the address printed by the print statement within the function before the function call and after the function call is same, then we can say that this list is passed by object reference. Now let us run this code and let us verify it. So over here we can see that it is printing the 4 elements and iterated. But here important thing is after adding, right, we are printing, and again after function call we are. So 5 is added, and hence we have a list with 1 element added to that list, and we are printing list 2 and list 1. List 2 is printed over here, list 1 is printed, and have all the 3 print statement are printing the same memory address, and this proves that the list is passed by object reference. So this is all about pass by object reference in Python. In next video you will learn types of arguments with its practical examples. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great time.